Watch this video and learn 3 efficient ideas to improve your English vocabulary. And at the end, I'm going to share a practice, okay, an idea so that you can implement these 3 suggestions I'm going to give you in this lesson. If you don't know me very well, hello. I am Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. So make sure to do that. Hit the like button and let's get started. Let's get down to business. I'm speaking too quickly. English vocabulary. Let's get down to business and talk about efficient ideas. One big disclaimer I need to make here right off the bat is if you don't implement them, if you don't put them into practice, nothing is going to change. Change is the result of consistent action. And the ideas I'm going to recommend need to be taken seriously. And that's why at the end, I'm giving you one idea for you to practice this week that will help you use the suggestions that I'm going to share in this lesson. And here on my channel, maybe you don't know me so well, I help specific students. I help students at a pre-intermediate and intermediate level. And basically what I do is I help students go from stuck to speaking in 6 months. By the way, if you're watching this video when it's released, registration for my academy is open. So check it out, just saying. But let's focus on the lesson. And at this level, guys, and no matter what your level is, but especially at a pre-intermediate and intermediate level, vocabulary is part of the game. If you don't have vocabulary, if you don't know how to express yourself, it'll be very difficult for you to speak. It's a combination of skills, and vocabulary is one of them. That's why here you will need variety, not quantity, but it's important to include variety, always considering, always focusing on the quality of the words you study. And I'm going to show you this in the ideas that I'm going to share in this lesson, okay? This is basically what I do with my students. In my academy, my online program, I call my students BSA, Baby Sardine in the Area. And in every lesson inside the academy, the students have vocabulary. And the ideas I'm going to recommend here are things that I do with my students. Contextualization, I'm going to share the ideas here, some of the ideas. And this is something that I see and I do with my students. I'm always giving them variety at the right amount, focusing on quality, and focusing on the 3 ideas that I'm going to share with you guys. So that being said, first idea is bring meaning to your vocabulary practice. What's the point of learning 100 words if there's no meaning? And when I say meaning, let me explain. Meaning doesn't mean the definition, okay? Of course, if you check the dictionary, meaning means definition, okay? What's the meaning? What's the definition? So I want you to bring meaning, make it significant, make it important to you. So don't simply study 10 phrasal verbs with up. That's nice, but what's the meaning you bring to your life, to your vocabulary practice? And here I have an example to make it very clear for you to understand. I have some words here: clever, spoon, remarkable, liver, savory, hammer. And what is the problem with these words? Well, you could Google them and find the meaning, and that's okay, but meaning. It's not about quantity. It's about what am I gonna do to help my brain remember these words? What's the relevance of remarkable? What's the relevance of savory? What's the relevance of hammer, liver, spoon, clever? How can I connect these words with my life and bring meaning to my vocabulary practice? And this is the idea that I'm sharing with you guys. This is what I do with my students in the academy. If there is no context, if there's no connection with your life, your vocabulary practice is empty. And that's why you keep studying and studying and studying words and you don't memorize them because your brain doesn't understand that it's important. So only writing them down, this is a typical mistake. Okay, I saw the word liver. All right, liver. And then you write it down. Some people translate it, which is awful. It's not even the subject of today's lesson. Some people will write the translation. Other people will maybe try in English, write the explanation. That's better. And then that's it. But that's not enough. It is not an efficient way to study vocabulary. And this is the moment that, as the song says, it is up to you, New York. It's up to you. It depends on you. It is up to you to bring meaning to the words you study. Okay, so I know clever is intelligent. That's a synonym. How can I use clever? How can I bring meaning to clever in my practice, in my life? My life is different from yours. I know many examples with clever that are connected with my life. And this is the moment when you take the time to focus on quality and really use your mind, use your memories, think about the meaning you're going to bring. Another word that's important for you to understand, bring the relevance to your study, to your vocabulary practice. So going back here again, now I'm going to use some words to show you what is meaning. I'm going to use remarkable and clever, okay? So while studying at Harvard, this is true for me, I went to Harvard. I studied business communication and professional communication in English. And while studying at Harvard, I was able to meet remarkable professionals in different fields. This is true. Remarkable professionals in architecture, engineering, medicine, business, psychology. What other people were there that I'm not sure, I don't remember. Well, teachers as well. And they were my classmates. We studied together because we were studying business English and professional English. And I had the opportunity to study with remarkable classmates. They were amazing. One of them, look, this is my memory. This is me bringing meaning to the word clever. I'm not just going to use intelligent. I want to speed up my learning process. I want to master my vocabulary. One of my classmates was so clever that at the age of 22, he was already a Harvard professor. Yes, physics. I remember he studied physics. At 22, he was already a Harvard professor. Can you believe that? That guy was clever. So what did I do here? The brain remembers more if you connect your practice with your life. Because now I am associating visual memory, auditory memory, kinesthetic memory. Because as I was reading this example, I remember the face of the boy that is clever. I remembered my colleagues talking to me, my classmates talking to me who were remarkable, extremely intelligent. I have visual memory. I have kinesthetic memory. It felt so good to be surrounded by remarkable students. Auditory, visual, kinesthetic memory. This helps me remember words more because I am adding meaning, relevance. And I have more. I can do more examples, of course. Let's take a look at hammer and screwdriver. I didn't put screwdriver there, but it's a word that I wanted to use because I bring meaning. So I don't have many tools in my apartment, okay? If you come here, you can check it out. There are not many tools. And then one day I remember this conversation with my father. Look, my memory. I remember this conversation with my father. I see my father in my head and I'm listening to our conversation in my head as I speak to you. And then I asked my father to give me a toolbox. To be very honest, I asked my father to help me buy a toolbox because I didn't know how to choose. But then he told me, Priscilla, you don't need it. You just need a screwdriver and a hammer. That's all he said. Priscilla, you need a screwdriver and a hammer. That's all you need. Because when you need help, you can call me and then I can come and I can bring my tools. I don't agree, but this is what happens, okay? This is what happens. Every time I need help in the house to fix things, I call him. And he brings all the tools that he needs to help me. So what am I doing here? The brain remembers more efficiently if you connect your practice with your life. Moving on, idea number 2. And hey, support the channel, subscribe, be part of the gang, okay? This is really helpful. Now, word grouping is the second one. Group words according to conversation subjects, and that will make it easier for your brain to remember them. So let's say you want to talk about everyday things we need to fix in a house. So I was just talking about that, in my previous example, the hammer, the screwdriver. When I have a problem around the house, I don't have many tools. So I ask my father, and he comes and he brings his own tools to fix things around the house, Now, the second idea is word grouping. So when I put together a conversation subject and I focus on bringing, okay, I'm going to talk about fixing, repairing problems in a house or in an apartment where you live, okay, repairing a house. So now I need to think, okay, what kind of words do I need? What kind of verbs? What kind of nouns? Adjectives? And I group them based on a conversation. So this is one part of the idea too, okay? There's more. So I'm going to talk about fixing a house. So verbs, nouns, adjectives. You will need to Google this. This is a vocabulary practice. So I would, if I were alone, studying alone, I would go to Google and I would type vocabulary about repairing a house. Repairing a house vocabulary. Fixing house problems vocabulary. And I wouldn't pick many. You don't need many. I would pick 2, 3, 4 problems. And then go to idea number 1. You need to be efficient. How can I connect these words with my life, my visual memory, auditory memory, kinesthetic memory? Is there anything that has ever happened in my life and I can connect with these problems? So this is very important. Add meaning, bring meaning to your vocabulary practice. And guys, I will continue talking about this. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Lots of people who watch my channel are not subscribed. As I said, right now, registration for my academy is open. But if at this moment, maybe joining the academy is not for you, I have other products. I have my study plan cycle that will definitely help you organize your study routine. Make sure to check the links in the description of this video. Listening Mastery Workshop, and I know these products are awesome. Now, idea number 3, activate your auditory and visual memory. That's what I am doing right now with you guys, okay? Especially auditory. I am using visual language to talk about my memories, but I'm also using a lot of auditory memory. And what is that supposed to mean? Okay, when studying the words, you need to use your voice. Okay, this is using auditory. You're speaking to yourself aloud using your voice. You can read the words, the descriptions of the words. Okay, so I Googled the word hammer. Okay, then I explain to myself the word hammer. I use my voice. Don't be quiet all the time you're studying. This is not good. Use your auditory and visual memory. This is how I memorize phone numbers. This is how I memorize passwords. This is how I memorize music, by using my voice. So when you're studying, you can write the examples. This is more visual and physical memory, more kinesthetic memory. So you can write examples down, put your notebook away, and then auditory, using your voice, okay? And create new examples. You can challenge yourself and create a new example, okay? This is a very efficient way to strengthen your memory, to improve your study routine when it comes to learning new words. Now, another thing you can do for visual is you can write the examples down, okay, so that you can see. You will use your physical memory, so it's a bit more kinesthetic. You're adding movement, okay? So that's very helpful, especially if you're kinesthetic. And then you can use Google Images. I use Google Images all the time, even though I'm not visual. But because I need to strengthen my visual channel, I am always using Google Images to see, especially this works really well with nouns, adjectives, and verbs, depending on the adjective, depending on the verb. But it's really efficient. So whenever I'm learning a new word, I check Google Images to show my brain, look, these are possible ways to connect with this word. I check the dictionary as well. Of course I do. This is not perfect, but it's a wonderful tool to help you use your visual memory. And when I am describing stories, when I am creating examples with my life, I always go back to visual. When I was talking about the toolbox, I remembered my father's toolbox. My hammer, my father gave me the hammer I have. My father gave me the screwdriver I have. Because I don't have tools. So I'm using my visual memory. I'm using my auditory memory. And now I am using English because I'm doing this in English. I'm not doing this in Portuguese. I'm not doing this in my native language. So this is very powerful. I do this with my BSA all the time inside the academy. Every module focuses on a different subject. They have to create examples. By the way, new babies who join the academy, always connect your examples with your life. So you learned a new word there, awareness. Oh, I learned over the moon. I don't know, right off the bat. Okay, how can I connect these expressions with my life? With a visual memory, an auditory memory, maybe a conversation you had with a family member, that's auditory. Maybe a place you went with a family member or a situation that will involve the three learning channels. I do this all the time. I do different workshops teaching slang, vocabulary. And I always bring these elements to the students because they work. They're very efficient, but you need to give it time. If you try this one day and then stop, you won't see the results. You have to be consistent. There's no miracle here. There's action, dedication, perseverance, and following good strategies, which I'm sharing with you guys right now. And finally, put these ideas into practice. So to improve, you need to act. So use these ideas. So here I'm sharing with you guys 7 problems that we do in the house, that we fix in the house. Repair the curtains or blinds on the window, to clear a clogged drain, to repair wall cracks, stop window draught, change a fuse in the building's fuse box, change a light bulb, unclog a toilet with a plunger. Oh, teacher, I don't know what this means. Homework for you. Use Google Images, okay? So here I am giving you 7 things we fix in the house. Use Google Images. I'm telling you, it's going to help. Use a dictionary as well. Study this. And then I prepared questions because there's an integration, okay? You will see this helps. It's very efficient. And then what we have here is, okay, problems around the house. What do you do when you need to fix something around the house? Conversation. You always have to practice your English speaking. I teach this in my academy. I teach this in my study plan cycle because it's important. Speaking is a skill. Okay, so what do you do when you need to fix something around the house? Do you know how to change a light bulb by yourself, or do you need someone to do it? In the past, I didn't know how. Oh, Priscilla, it's so easy. Yeah, I didn't know. But then necessity is the mother of invention. And I had to do it myself. So nowadays I know how to do it. No problems. Oh, but it's so easy. Well, it's easy for you. Maybe to me it wasn't. But now I know how to change a light bulb. I can do this. When was the last time you renovated your house? See, different verb, renovated your house. Okay? I've never done a renovation. Why? Because I don't have a house. I don't have an apartment, so I can't change anything. I change decoration, then yes, but renovation, I've never done that, okay? But when I lived with my parents, my father basically built our house, so he had to do the renovation. So you see, English, meaning my life, this is how you learn, and this is how you improve your English vocabulary. Number 4, have you ever had to unclog a toilet? Can you do it without a plunger? What is a plunger? Unclog a toilet. Well, Google Images. This is your homework. This is one wonderful practice. With this slide, with my students in the academy, I would stay for an hour talking about this, making them create examples during workshops, because every month I give them workshops. And sometimes when it's vocabulary practice, this is usually what we do. I show them some words, I show them some context, and then they have to create some examples right away to me, and I correct them and I give feedback. Then I move on to maybe a listening practice. Why? Integration. With this exercise alone, if you keep following this strategy, you will improve English vocabulary, you will improve writing, even listening, depending on what you do, and finally speaking. Because speaking is a skill you must practice. Other than that, my friends, I ask you to share this video with a friend. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye!